Hello, everyone. I am joined here today by Ethan Lewis, fighting at Cage Warriors Academy Southeast on June 10th. Ethan, how we doing today?
Yeah, I'm good, man. Just cutting weight, water loading, getting ready for Friday for the weigh-ins. But yeah, I'm feeling pretty good. Yeah,
So,
man.
how much weight do you cut? I was wondering that you fight at 135 pounds, but how much weight do you normally cut?
Yeah, so I normally weigh about 66 kilos.
Okay,
So give or take, like that's about 146, 147 pounds.
got
So,
it.
you know, it's nothing major for the weight cut really. Um, yeah, I'm always pretty lean. Like I walk around, like 10% body fat. So
Okay,
it's just cutting out a little bit of water. I was like 63 kilos this morning, so yeah, man, be a nice light cut, really.
got it. Okay. So, you fight Zach Maunder on June 10th. It's your amateur debut.
Yeah,
So, what do you know about your opponent, if anything? I know he only has, I think, two amateur fights so far. I know this is your first, so I'm not sure how much tape study you're doing, but what do you know about him?
yeah. So obviously, I watched his first two fights. Yeah, like obviously, I think the first fight, I think he won it. To be honest, I think he controlled his opponent. I think his name is Jack Ashman. Controlled him for the majority of the fight. Obviously, he got rocked in that third round, got knocked down. Um, I think Ashman really should have finished him. Like, I think
Okay.
in the position when he took his back, I think if I was in that position, I'd have finished him. So, that's what I'll be looking for to, if I knock him down, jump on that back, choke him out, or if I take him down, I want to circle to the back and choke him out as well. But in his most recent fight against I don't know the guy's first name. I know his last name is Royce.
Okay.
Um, I think the guy who he fought, it just wasn't a great wrestler. Wasn't very strong or nothing. I watched Zach's interview after the fight. He said like, there was a clear strength discrepancy between them, and I think I'll be stronger than him when we get in there. I think he'll feel it quite early on.
Okay. So yeah, you have that very heavy BJJ style. I know you've competed in a couple tournaments recently. You competed at the DNA Championships and then you competed at All
Yeah.
Stars. So tell me about those events. You won DNA and then you came in third place at All Stars. You got DQ'd in the semifinals. Tell me a little bit about those events. Tell me about those experiences and just what you were able to learn from those.
Yeah, so I trained for going on just a little bit over 2 years now. Like, I started properly in April 21 because I started in September 2020. But obviously, all the COVID stuff in England, there was like a few different lockdowns. I'm sure it's the same over there,
Yeah, bad time to
like in
start.
and out. Yeah, man, terrible time to start all the bullshit rules, whatever. So, like, I signed up to DNA, I think it was December that I competed in DNA. So I trained for, a year and a half or so, but I was really nervous to be honest going into it. I didn't think that I'd win or nothing. I just thought, I've got to dip my foot in, sort of, get that level of competition now. But yeah, and I went to the competition. I went with my friend Jacob, and yeah, we both signed up. I went competed at 67, so that's sort of like my natural weight anyway. And yeah, and when I went on my first match, I went to a decision.
Okay.
He's probably the best guy who I faced there. He's a really strong guy, short, stocky, sort of wrestling style. And I remember him putting me in a guillotine, and I was just sort of like, I heard his coach say, "Oh, you're gonna get him," and I was like a bit worried. But then I sort of settled into it, like I got like the top position. I ended up winning 2-0 on points for that
Nice.
match. I just remember getting out of it as well. I got out of the match and my shoulders were killing me and I
Mm.
was breathing and I was like, fuck me, like, is this what this feels like? I was like, is this what competing feels like? And then I went into the second match and the guy in the second match, he wasn't so experienced as the guy
Mhm.
in the first match. So I kind of clinched up with him, and he moved back a bit, stumbled a bit, and I was like, right, I can shoot on him when I like, sort of thing. So I shot in, finished the takedown. He went guillotine as I went other side, which obviously, you're taught pretty early on not to hold the guillotine when they
Yep.
go side control.
Never.
Uh, I went for the Von Flu, but I didn't quite understand the Von Flu
Okay.
because I remember, I don't know whether it's before or after, but someone who trained at BKK, I've never actually met her, Corey McKenna.
Yes.
She got a Von Flu, the first ever women's Von Flu choke
I
in her
remember.
fight. I can't remember who she was fighting. But I remember after that, Jack was he was showing us it in the gym. But now, whenever I get to that side control, on the other sides, and they go guillotine, I always look for that one flew. But yeah, in this match, I just went straight to the mount sort of thing. He carried on holding the guillotine, and it was funny because his coach was there telling him to hold the choke. He's like, he's gonna tap, he's gonna tap, and I was like, never,
Nope.
never gonna tap.
Not
And I
tapping to
remember
not
after,
tapping today.
never, man, never tap to that. Like, I couldn't show my face in the gym after that. I don't think. But I remember breaking it, and I just said to him, I just whispered to him, I was like, never, man, never.
Never.
But yeah, then I kind of like got like sort of like an S mount, and I could tell if I just go for the triangle, I'll be able to finish it, sort of thing. And I had a guy come over, and it's funny because he's actually a GB top team coach,
Okay.
but this guy Archer come over and he actually coached me through the finish, which I now use as a finish for my mounted triangle. It's sort of that's sort of my favorite move now in the gym. Like
That's
everyone
awesome.
knows, if I get to that triangle, I'm going to try and move to the mount. We have a
That's
sort of
really
joke
cool.
because my coach he calls me Macaulay Culkin from Home Alone, and that's called the get out of my house. He says so every time I get it, he goes get out of
get,
my house.
get out my house.
But yeah,
That's
man,
great.
I've been told, I was told if I get in the fight, I've got to say to Zach, I've got to say to him, if I get him in a triangle, I've got to say, get out my house. So, if you're watching, you see the triangle get thrown up, just listen closely because you'll be hearing the get out my house. I'll say it as loud as I can.
I'll definitely
But
be listening closely.
yeah, man, DNA was a great comp. I faced like a really good white belt as well in the final, Paddy Daly. He's now a blue belt. I
Okay.
remember straight in, I got like quite a strong grip on like a standing guillotine, and he kind of shook it off. And then I think it was reset. Actually, it was reset from the half guards, and he ended up getting to like a sort of position where he could sweep me, and he swept me, and I remember turning straight to my knees. Like almost like crawling out because you know how like when you come out of the square they like reset it in the middle
Yes, yes,
and
yes.
it was reset, and I was on my knees, and I was thinking, "Fuck, man!" I was thinking, I've just lost I've just lost, my final, first ever final, and I was thinking, all right, well, my back's taken now. Let's not get finished, and I was there, and I was defending the choke, and I was thinking, like really, I was thinking, this guy, I thought he would have a bit more for me, sort of strength wise, when he got the grip, because he sort of went. I think he went for like a short choke, like
Yes,
over
like
the jaw sort of thing.
okay, yeah, like
And
right like that.
I just thought, like, all right, I'm safe here, I'm safe here. I've got a bit of time. It was quite early into the match, say about like 1 minute in. So yeah, I was like, I've got time. I've got another 4 minutes, and yeah, like I ended up escaping the position, and we come back to sort of him having sort of like an open guard again, looking for the sweep. And I remember he went single leg, I think it was, and I just sprawled heavy on top of him, and I circled straight to the back. And as soon as I got the back position, like as soon as I took the back, I was like, right, sink the choke straight in,
Nice.
finished it up, and yeah, man, it was a great feeling winning that first ever gold medal. Like I've definitely got to do another comp.
Okay.
I haven't been able to lately just because I've been training the MMA
Of
so
course.
much, but I think after this match, I was looking at the second edition of DNA is actually on the 24th of June.
Okay.
So the deadline's closed on the 10th of June. So we'll see how 10th of June goes. I don't want to look past it
Yeah,
too
you can't look
much.
past. You got to
But,
see how it goes and if you can be there for that jujitsu match. But if you
yeah, man,
can,
because say I get like we're doing a lot of the game plan is like don't get kicked in the calf. So say like I eat some big calf kicks in this fight, or even I'll just fuck my arms up, get kicked in the body, block it, or fuck my shins up. I don't want to be there paying 50 odd pounds and not be able to compete.
no, of
So
course it makes sense.
yeah, we'll see whether I remember on the night because the deadline is June 10th at midnight. So I have a feeling that if I knock this guy out, I might just be down the pub and forget. Do you know what I mean?
Yep,
Just
definitely.
I'll
Might
be
just might
celebrating
just
the
want to
same
go have
time.
a good night. Yep.
Yeah, man.
Any
Straight on the
specific place? Any specific place you got in mind?
well, my girlfriend works at there's a chain in England called Weatherspoons.
Okay.
And it's like a big pub chain. It's like budget pub chain. So you get like really cheap drinks. It's like £2 for like a pint and stuff.
Okay.
And I've said to everyone, because I get commission on the tickets, I've said I'll be getting everyone a free pint who buys a ticket through my ticket link. And
Okay.
I've said two if I get the knockout. So, if I get the knockout, the
Two for the
bank account will
KO.
be looking a bit dry the next day, but it'll be worth it.
It'll be a great night though. Okay, that's awesome. All right, so you talked about a couple of things I wanted to elaborate on. The BKK fight, train at BKK Fighters in Colchester. I know Arnold Allen gets in some work there, but who are some other people that
Yeah.
you train with that like help your game out specifically?
So a guy who I've been doing a lot of work with, who's fighting on the show on the 10th, Charlie Falco.
Okay.
He's the strawweight champion.
Mhm.
He's I think this is his, if I'm right, it's his third title defense now. Yeah, like we've been working a lot this camp, like a lot together, because the guy he's only fighting at 52 kilos, but he's so technical, so strong, like for 52 kilos, he's so good in the positions. So like, yeah, it's always great to be training with a champion as
Of
well. Like he's
course.
got that champion mindset. Like just the reps. Like it's so different to training with say a beginner or something. He's there every rep. All right, let's go. We're straight in. If we're doing a round, all right, as soon as we know that we're rolling, all right, we're live, straight in. So, yeah, doing that work with Charlie's really been beneficial to me, like just rubbing off that, champion's mentality on me. Um, yeah, man, I've been working with so many good guys. There's so many guys I can't even name them all.
No, I get
Um,
it.
but yeah, like the energy in the room leading up to the fight. I mean, we've got a lot of guys who are fighting on the show. The co-main event as well, like Tarek Pell, he comes down for his sparring. Him and his mate Taylor. I can't remember Taylor's last name. It's slipped my head now.
Okay.
He's another bantamweight who I get a lot of like really good work in because he's a great striker, a good wrestler as well. Really like strong, heavy hips. But yeah, man, I've been like working with a lot of guys who are fighting on the show or have fought on the show. Mason Kinsella is one of them. I've been doing some work with him as well, actually in sparring. He's like a really good fighter. Some tricky jiu-jitsu as well. But yeah, man, I'm sure I've forgotten a few that I haven't named. But all the guys in the gym really helping me out leading up to the fight. Even the guys who ain't competing, just giving me that energy. Like say we're doing the drills at the end, non-stop. I've got to shoot in for a double leg. They're not letting me just shoot in a sloppy double leg and then going down. They're telling me, Ethan, you've got to shoot straight in, finish the double leg properly. It's little things like that where that's what's going to set me apart in the fight, I think, where I haven't made them compromises to myself.
Definitely, definitely. I agree. I think that I think those kind of mentalities are going to be what pushes you through, especially in like the lower amateur stages. Like a lot of guys don't have the kind of mentality that I feel you're coming in with, and I feel like that might give you a really big advantage just even going into the fight. And then
Yeah,
man, your BJJ is nice. I wanted to ask, what is your favorite type of submission?
it's got to be the triangle, man. It's got
Okay.
to be the triangle.
Okay.
Um, I told myself like I never really had any triangles in my locker about a year ago, but I told myself like last summer. My coach Sean Carter, he does like he's had loads of triangle finishes in his fights. Like a few pro fights, he's finished by triangle. So obviously, like I watched some of his fights and I was like, wow, like he's got a really good triangle. And we get taught it quite often, but yeah, like I always told myself, I was like, all right, I really want to work my triangle game, and I just sort of manifested, okay, I'm gonna really work my triangles now, and then yeah, now that's like something that I'm really confident with. Once I get the guy in my guards, I'm looking to control the posture straight away, and isolate that arm so I can get one arm in and throw up the legs for the triangle. And I think when I do get that lock, I'm really, like strong from that position. So I think it will present itself in the fight at some point. I think I could really see a triangle finish in this fight, whether it be preferably from the mount, but if I do end up on my back, I'll be
You could even
working.
do it from there.
I don't want to be on my back. That's never the goal to be on your back because that's where the guy can rack up the damage, and that's the main scoring card now is
Mm.
the damage.
Yeah.
So I never want to be stuck on my back. I won't be playing a big jiu-jitsu guard game. But if I am on my back, if I am, you know, from the guard, if he's in my guard, I will be looking for the triangle.
No, definitely. I can't wait to look for that triangle. I was wondering if you
Yeah.
were I was wondering if you had like a vision for the fight, if you were like, seeing yourself finishing in a certain way. Do you see a certain round the triangle coming in?
I've been saying to a few people actually. It's funny that you mentioned that. I've been saying to a few people, I see it in the second round.
Okay.
I think the first round, I think I'll win. If I had to predict, I think the first round I'm going to win on the feet
Okay.
mainly. I think I'm going to strike with him, catch him against the cage a couple of times. I can see me hitting him with my left hook.
Okay.
Um, yeah, I've got quite a nice left hook.
All right.
And I know he looks for the calf kick a lot. That's what we've been working. Like GB top team, a lot of them guys they're going to come in and look for the calf kick. So I want to throw that right hand straight through the middle, then the left hook to follow. Um, Obviously, he did look vulnerable to that right hand in his first fight with Ashman, but that was when he was 17. I can't give it too much weight I think he was also at a different camp. I don't know whether that was when he
Okay.
was at GB top team. I think he was at another camp at that point. So obviously, I'm not going to give that too much weight because even his most recent fight was, nearly a year ago. But I do think that I'm going to surprise him. Like I
Got
think
it.
when I get in there, I think I'm going to surprise him with my energy, sort of thing. I think both the guys who he's fought are like I don't even know for the last guy because we didn't really get to see much of it. But
Okay.
I just think that guy, and this is no offense to the guy who he did fight. Obviously, there's no hate whatsoever. I just don't think he's on my level,
Yeah.
whatsoever. But Ashman, I think that guy's like more of a striker sort of thing. So it'd be interesting to see how he deals with someone who's going to shoot in on him and put him on his back.
No, definitely. It's going to be interesting to see how he can deal with being in his back in those situations because he's the one that's going to try to initiate the wrestling too. But I also want to see, I want to also see if you can how you can do on your back because I know you have the nice submissions and stuff. I don't know. I kind of want to see a triangle off your back. I feel like that'd be a cool way to get a debut win. But how does it feel?
Shit, man.
How does it
Be
feel
pretty cool.
fighting for a promotion like Cage Warriors in your like opening in your amateur debut? I mean, it's one of the UK's biggest promotions, and you're opening your career there.
Yeah, man, it's a massive opportunity. I mean, the academy, even on like social media and stuff, it's massive.
Mm-hmm.
I obviously, I'm sure you saw my interview. I had like a little promo ahead of
Yes.
the fight, things like that. It's definitely a big step. Like, it's definitely, going from talking to Jack, and he was saying, we'll see. Obviously, I had the conversation. I spoke to Jack, and I said, I do want to fight, sort of thing. And he said, all right, well, he did say to me, he was like, we'll see how your level is over the next few months, and then I'll see whether I can find you something. But to be honest, I wasn't sure whether it'd be the academy or maybe a smaller show. I
Yeah.
was thinking possibly it'd be a smaller show, but I did, when they changed the date from April to June, I did sort of think in the back of my head, I thought, okay, maybe I'll end up
They're
fighting
holding
in
me.
it. It's
Yeah,
one
they're
of
holding me
those.
for something special, maybe.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking, okay, maybe I'll end up fighting in June, but I thought I'll stay ready. I'd be on the mats every day. Um, I'm always training. Like it was even before camp started, it was 6 days a week. Even sometimes 7 days a week, and I'd come on Sunday, do my boxing with my boxing coach Charlie. Just get a little bit of working with him. But I know that I'm working as hard as I can. I have worked as hard as I can now for this camp. Obviously, it's now just down to the weight cut. I'll be in the gym tomorrow, but it'll be, just a little move about really, nothing too crazy. I don't want to get injured. Um, Obviously, like I said, I won't be depleting myself too much water wise. I'm only going to sauna for like, I'll only be in the sauna for like an hour on the
Okay.
first day.
Okay.
So yeah, it'll just be like sipping on water, cutting my water
Good.
down, and that's about it.
Good.
But yeah, man, I'm excited. I can't wait. I just can't wait to start eating as well because I've been eating so clean. It's been like eggs and meat
Can't
every
wait.
day. I got
Can't wait to
cut.
get back to that food.
Yeah, man, I'm straight down getting a kebab after the fight. A kebab,
Going to the
some
pub.
ice cream. Yeah, going to
Yeah.
the pub for sure. A few drinks, few shots. But yeah, man, it'd be good. I got my family coming in from Ireland, so
Nice. Nice.
the Irish, they love a drink.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. So you've talked about how much you've been training recently, even despite not having a fight. And the last 6 months you said have been crucial for you and for your evolution as a fighter, that you've grown a lot in these past 6 months. But you've been training for about 2 years. So what changed in these last 6 months that really made you start taking up your work ethic and make you want to start, I don't know, just taking fighting more seriously?
So when I started, it was always like in the back of my head. So I only become a fan of MMA in about like lockdown sort of time. That was when I really,
Okay.
become a fan. So I know like a lot of people, have been watching MMA, since they're like a kid growing up. For me, I'd watch. I remember watching like McGregor versus Khabib and stuff
Hmm.
like that. But I was a massive casual.
Yes.
I would always just watch, if McGregor's fighting or something. But that's actually how I kind of got into it. I stayed up for McGregor versus Cowboy, and I was like, wow, like this is amazing. And I remember watching like Justin Gaethje versus Tony Ferguson. That event, I think Francis Ngannou fought that night when he knocked out
Yes.
Rosenstrike,
Yes, it was.
like the
Yes,
16
he did.
knockout.
Yes, he did.
And I was like, man, this sport is crazy. I was like, I used to be a big football fan. I was like, oh, like soccer in America. I used to be a big football fan, but I was like, nah, fuck this. I'm gonna go watch some MMA. I was like, this is what I'm watching from now on. And obviously, you watch it enough. And I've always been one of the people. I always said I don't think that I'm gonna just live like a normal life. I always thought I was gonna be doing some sort of sport. Like I
Hmm.
always believed it ever since I was little. It used to be football, but I was never really good at it. And then it was like, I always thought I'd do like athletics or something. But now, it's MMA. I sort of settled on it, and that's part of why I think I'll win because I just want something so much. Like I've always wanted that opportunity so much, and I feel like MMA is the most fair sport in the world
Because it's just
because
you.
all you have to do
Hmm.
is beat the guy in front of you. Although obviously you can get mismatches and stuff, all you've got to do, if you think you're the best in the world, prove you're the best in the world.
Yeah, and
So,
it's up to you. That's the thing. Is there's not it's not a
yeah,
team. It's not like you can't blame the people around you. You can only blame yourself in the end. And that's
yeah, there's no
it's up.
scapegoat.
Yep, it's up to you. So if you really do think you're the best in the world and you believe you can go to the top, you can do it. You know what I mean? That's up to you.
Yeah,
So yeah, that's what's really cool about MMA. I like it a lot, honestly, too. It's just it's cool to learn about like the individual people as well. Like everyone has
yeah,
like so much of a deeper story because it's such an individual sport.
yeah.
Mhm.
I think you get some like personalities in MMA,
Mhm.
like football or something like that. It's kind of like because you got to be a bit weird to
Mhm.
want to go in there and have a fight in just a pair of
Oh,
shorts and get
100%.
possibly beaten up by another man in front of all your friends and
Yeah,
family
in front of
for
a
everyone
massive
watching
crowd of
you.
people.
Yeah, you got to have something a little bit not right to be doing that. So yeah, you get some funny personalities. But yeah, talking about like the training. Um, so I would work. So I was in college, which is like in England we have like high school, like so secondary school is our high school until 16, and then 16, 17, 18. So like you go for 2 years, you go to college when
Okay.
you're 16 to you're 18,
Okay.
and then it's like college and then university. So it's like sort of like an in between, like a middle ground.
Got it.
And I went to college, and I I never really saw myself, doing the things that I was studying. I was studying criminology, law, and then PE, and I never really had like I had like a little bit of an interest in them, but I never really cared. I never really focused, and like that's when I really started getting down the gym. So I was trying to go to the gym, and then I started a job, and I was working every evening 4 till like about 7 p.m. It'd be when we're done because it was just in like a big warehouse, so it'd be the end of the day, you get out, and then I'd be biking down like 20 minutes to training. So a lot of the time, I'd end up missing the 6:30 session, and then getting to the 7:30 session. And it got to the point where I said to myself, okay, am I going to keep working and putting the money first, or do I put, the goal, which is fighting first? And I was like, to be fair, I did kind of need the money at the time because I got kicked out of college for I don't know if I should bring this up on the podcast, but fuck it. I ended up getting kicked out of college for actually having a fight.
Okay.
Um, it's a very long story. Had
Not the
a
worst thing in
pretty
your profession, so
yeah, man. I mean, I'm sure pretty much everyone else who does MMA has been in some sort of street fight. But yeah, went into the gym the same day with all the bumps and bruises because it was a 3v1 fight, so it didn't end very well for me.
got it.
But I went in, and my coaches were sure to let me know how much of an idiot I was for getting into it. But yeah. So since I quit my job, I literally just started coming into the gym every day. I was like, I've got no excuse now. I'm not in college. I'm not working. You know, what am I gonna do? Sit around and do nothing all day? Fuck that, man. So I was in the gym, like every day. Um, and really, when I was speaking with my jiu-jitsu coach Jason about it, and he was telling me when I first started coming to the sparring, I probably didn't deserve to be in the room. Really good amateur and professional level, and I was there, and I was, sort of clunky, and I didn't really know how to do this, didn't really know how to do that. The technique wasn't great, but over the, last 6, 9 months, just through that wanting to be at the level of everyone else, I've I've put myself, at everyone else's level, just rubbing off, that mentality, like I was saying, just being around, they say you're the product of the people you spend your most time around. So I just want to spend, as much time as possible around my coaches, around my training partners. And yeah, it's rubbing off now. And it went from, can I compete to, I'm now going in there and I'm competing. And I can't wait to show just how much I've gotten better since even these last jiu-jitsu comps and stuff because, even then I feel like I'm a better level than I was, in January and December sort of time.
It's awesome to hear how much you feel you've grown as a fighter in like such a short amount of time. And I like it's like you're a sponge. It's like you're just trying to like soak in everything from
Yeah,
all like the
yeah,
good people around you and just trying to learn a lot. Like I really like what I'm hearing from you. It's the right mentality, it's the right mindset, and I really think you're going into your debut with like just all the right tools necessary in order to win. So I can't wait to see it, and I'm very happy and to be able to talk to you and watch it. But I wanted to ask you one last question. What belt are you currently in jiu-jitsu? Are you still a white belt or have you
I'm
leveled
still a
up?
white belt.
Okay.
I'm zero strike white belt. I ain't
Okay.
got a stripe yet. Um, to be fair, I haven't been training in the gi so much. I
Okay.
trained a lot of no gi. Like from the very start, I was training no gi.
Got it.
But I did train in the gi like a few odd times. Like I've been training in the gi consistently though for uh, say like 4 months, something like that. So I haven't been training, all that long in the gi,
Okay.
but it'll come. The blue belt
All
will
right.
come. We had a promotion like a month ago, and Jason, the coach, is saying, if you want it, you got to come get it. So I've just got to bring the fight to him. But when he's a massive black belt, 100 kilo black belt, and I'm some 65 kilo white belt,
It's a little
I'm
hard.
surviving.
Yeah.
I just tell myself if I can survive like a minute with this guy, I'm doing all right.
Yeah, no, seriously. All right, Ethan, it was great talking to you and I really had a great time. Everyone make sure you go check out Ethan's first amateur fight at Cage Warriors Academy Southeast on June 10th against Zach Maunder. And I want to thank you again for everything, Ethan, seriously.
Yeah, thank you, mate, for having
Thank
me on.
you.
It's been really good.
It's been
We'll have
great.
another chat.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah.